what's going on? Welcome to the Dray Way. You guys yesterday listened to my pity party, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I was whining yesterday, but I feel better today. It's a great day. It's beautiful. I'm glad you're here. We have a lot to talk about, so instead of me yapping, let's get started. Let's go! Hey, welcome to the Dray Way. I'm glad you're here. You're here at a great time because it is absolutely gorgeous outside. And I thought to myself, should I just go frolic in the sun or should I do my show? I chose to do my show. Yeah, I wanted to hang out with you guys. I thought it would be cool to hang out with you guys today. Interest rates. Interest rates. I don't know if you've looked at the 10-year yield today. I sat there and looked at it and watched it edging up higher and higher and higher. Because, of course, you know the big news is that Moody's dropped our credit rating. Yeah, the credit rating for the United States. And that's a pretty big deal. It's a big deal because now it's going to cost the United States even more. We're going to have to offer higher interest rates for people to take our debt. And people taking our debt is kind of crazy when you really think about it, because we're not discussing this at all for some reason. You know, I saw somebody on the news the other day talking about, well, if we don't make these tax cuts permanent, oh my gosh, the world's going to collapse. No, absolutely nothing would happen. As a matter of fact, it would probably help us if we didn't give out tax cuts to people that got tons of money, tons of it. And we want to give them tax cuts. It makes no sense. And it's going to only put us further in debt. I don't think you guys realize, I don't think anyone is really talking about this, but this government is spending money we do not have. And I mean in huge amounts. I don't mean a little bit over. I mean chasms over. And extenuating and making bigger tax cuts is just going to make everything worse. Everything hasn't gotten better. Nothing has gotten better since Donald Trump cut taxes the last time. Nothing. Zero. And in fact, all everybody's done is complain. Ever since those tax cuts hit, complaints. And now we're going to do it again. Again, we're going to give huge tax cuts to the people that need it the least. And it just, you know, if you're a student of interest rates, if you're a student of real estate, like for example, today I'm watching the 10-year yield go over 4.5%. I know when the 10-year yield is over 4.5%, interest rates for mortgages is over 7. And I just have a question for you, just one question. If you're out right now and you're looking for a house, and you see some of the prices on these houses, and I don't care where you are. I know in certain areas in Texas and Tennessee and Florida, prices are dropping. But that's just a small. They're dropping like this, when over the next 3 years, they're going to drop like this. So still, to be looking at elevated prices that are 30% higher than where they should be, at 7% interest rate, it's one thing to buy a house at 3%. That's one thing. 3%, 3.5%. To buy a house at 7% interest rate at this level, at these prices, because many of you are like, well, when I bought a house back in 79, back in 80, interest rates were blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Who cares if your interest rate was 12% when your house was $65,000? Who cares? People today do that all the time. It's called a car loan. People do it every day. Hey, I'll pay $65,000 for that Jeep Wrangler. Then put me in that Jeep Wrangler. By the way, who does that? I'm just curious. What in your mind, clicks and you go, I want to buy a Jeep Wrangler? I see them on the road and I'm like, who thought that was a good idea? I mean, I digress. But anyway, and, and as I'm watching the 10-year yield rise over 4.5%, and this being peak time right now, right now and the month of June is it's the end, because when the 4th of July hits, no one's buying nothing. The 4th of July hits, summer's over, kids are going back to school, and yeah, it's done. So you have 6 more weeks of selling homes. That's it. 6 more weeks, and then the brakes are going to come on. So if you don't sell your house in the next 6 weeks, good luck to you. That's all I can say, is good luck to you. You have 6 weeks to sell your house. And if you don't do it, good luck. And now with interest rates over 7% and it's peak house selling time, buyers they're not going to show up. A lot of those people that just are finding out today that their loan isn't locked in yet. Yeah, their loan's not locked in. So their loan just went a couple of weeks ago from 6.75 to 7.25. Yeah, that loan's going to die. That house isn't going to go through. You'll be surprised, across the country over the next few weeks, tens of thousands of contracts will not be fulfilled. Yeah, because as these yields climb and mortgage rates climb, more and more people are going to be like, I don't think so. I don't think so. So we're in a rough situation, folks. We're in a rough situation because we Moody's has lowered our rating. We have a president that is determined to lower taxes for really rich people, and a president that is determined, like he was last time, to spend a ton of money we just don't have. Yeah, like on a military parade, for example. Millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars on a military parade. I have to admit, I never thought I thought I'd see something like this. But this is what happens when you have lousy leadership. And I think just today or last night, they're trying to push through Medicaid cuts. I'm hoping it doesn't go through. I heard someone say that it hasn't yet, which would be good news, because that's the Republican solution for everything, it seems like. Cut taxes and cut benefits to people that need it most. Welcome to the United States. Let me know what you think in the comments. Welcome to the Dray Way. I'm glad you're here. Hit the subscribe button or don't. Yeah, I cried about it yesterday. I'm not going to cry about it today. If you want to come along and enjoy the shows, come along and enjoy the shows. If you don't, go piss off. But don't go anywhere. More Dray Way to come. I'm in that kind of mood. I want you to pay attention to the oil stocks over the next couple of months. Over the next 60 days, if you're invested in stock, and if you haven't gotten your stash account, just ask me about it. I'll help you get started on a stash account so you can be investing along with all of us. We're all in this together, and we're all doing the best we can with our stocks. If you haven't heard about what I like with stock, I tell people all the time, my 3 top stocks that I would invest in: NVIDIA, DoorDash, and Netflix. They have done extremely well this year. I expect them to do extremely well next year and the year after that. You invest in those 3 stocks, and I think you're going to do extremely well. But what I want you to do for the next 60 days is I want you to really watch oil. Watch the oil markets, because we're in dangerous territory right now. If oil goes any lower, it's going to cause quite a bit of problems here in the United States. And I'm telling you right now, we are going to deactivate a lot of wells, because we are simply not going to pump out $50-some oil. It's not going to be a thing. America will pull back. America's already pulling back on its oil production. Oil production under Joe Biden hit a record. Are we going to be hitting any records from this point on with Trump in office? No. And that's because Donald Trump is bad for oil. And when I say he's bad for oil, it's his record. That's what he basically does. He crashes oil markets. And I said this at the very beginning when he became president. I said, "Oof, I'm getting rid of my oil stocks because I'm just nervous about what he'll do." And with oil sitting where it's at, I think it's worth watching over the next couple of months, because if oil does trend down into the low 50s, maybe even the 40s, could that happen? It could. It is possible. And if that does happen, that is going to be a great time to look at some of these oil stocks that will probably take a hit. Could they take a 15, 20, 25% hit? Yeah. And if they do, guess who's going to be there? Yeah. We're going to be there, you and I, to take advantage of it, because that's what we have to do. Anytime oil is at a discount, because oil's not going anywhere. Let's make sure we all understand this. We make everything out of oil. We do everything from oil, and oil isn't getting easier to get. Oil continues to be harder and harder to get. So anytime we can get a little dip in the oil market, that's a good time to buy. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're watching the oil market with me. If you're not, again, subscribe to the show so you can hang out with me and we can check out the oil market together, because I think it's going to be a very, very interesting thing to watch over the next couple of months. Don't go anywhere. More Dray Way to come. As Republicans sit there and try to cut 13.7 million people out of Medicaid, and how they try to cut back the SNAP program. I got all of you that are in red states. Is this what you voted for? Because when you vote for Republicans, this is what you vote for. They want to cut Medicaid and they want to cut the SNAP program. Programs you in red states heavily rely on. So I just want to ask you, what are you doing? What are you doing? You guys in Mississippi and Arkansas and Oklahoma and Alabama, what the F are you doing? Why do you vote for a party that wants to get rid of the things that keep you alive? Yeah, some of you, without Medicaid and without SNAP, you wouldn't be alive. Yet when you go to the voting booth, you vote for a party that wants to unalive you. Help me out. How does that make any sense whatsoever? How do you continually vote for a party that has no interest in you at all? All they have to do is say to you is something like, "Oh, they're crossing the border. They're pouring over the border." If they were so worried about the border, how come they've done nothing? They've done nothing about the border. They haven't changed the laws one bit. Not one bit. We still have the same laws. You would think they'd change things if they were so bad. Oh, they're so bad, Drayton. They've changed nothing. So I need you to help me. Why do you keep voting for a party that wants to damage you? Yeah, because a lot of you in red states, you collect food stamps. You collect SNAP. You're part of the SNAP program. And even more of you, do you realize without Medicaid, with these Medicaid cuts, do you realize a lot of you that live in rural red states, you won't have your hospital. Your hospital will close. Stop and think about that for a minute. If you live in a town of 25,000 or less, 50,000 or less, and you have a hospital, you won't have one. That hospital's there because of Medicaid. Without Medicaid, your hospital in your town, in your small town, it goes away. Do you understand that? Because that is what Republicans fight to do all the time. They fight to make life miserable in small towns. But yet you guys turn out and show up and vote for them. They want to get rid of your hospital. They want to get rid of your school. They want to get rid of your post office. They want to get rid of all of that and privatize it. Well, how are you going to survive out in your small towns without those services? How will you survive? Think about that for heaven's sakes. Think about that before you go vote again. And you go, "Oh, I'm going to go vote Republican." They're not for you. They don't give a damn about you. Wake up. Come on. You can't be that dumb. All right, I'm done. That's it for the Dray Way. I had my say. I hope you have a wonderful day. As you can see behind me, it is a gorgeous day today. And my son has 4.5 days left of school. My beautiful boy has 4.5 days left. So I'm going to go get him ready for school. Have a great day, everybody. I'm going to enjoy my day with my son and my father. And I'm going to take him to go get donuts. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.